All right, everyone, let's talk about something crucial for any business with a data center: disaster recovery. Imagine this: a fire, a flood, a ransomware attack. Any of these can knock your data center offline in a heartbeat. We're talking about potentially massive financial losses, devastating security breaches, and data corruption that could cripple your entire operation. This is why having a solid disaster recovery plan, a DRP, is non-negotiable. It's like having insurance for your data. You hope you never need it, but you're darn glad you have it when things go south. Over the next few minutes, we'll dive into 7 crucial tips to make your data center disaster-proof. So buckle up and let's get started. First things first, before you even think about backup solutions or fancy recovery strategies, you need to know what you're up against. That's where a comprehensive risk assessment comes in. Think about your physical location. Are you in a flood zone? Earthquake territory? What about the power grid in your area? Is it reliable? Next up, cybersecurity threats. We're talking about everything from malware and phishing attacks to disgruntled employees and those pesky insider threats. Don't forget about the human element. Accidental deletions, configuration errors, you name it, we've all been there. A thorough risk assessment helps you prioritize your efforts. You'll know which threats are most likely to hit you and which ones could do the most damage. Understanding your risks is the foundation of a rock-solid disaster recovery plan. Okay, let's talk about backups. If your data is important to you, and let's face it, it is, then regular data backups are non-negotiable. But here's the thing, it's not just about backing up your data, it's about doing it right. You want to make sure your backups are stored securely, ideally off-site or in the cloud, and that they're easily accessible when you need them. And don't even get me started on the 3-2-1 rule. 3 copies of your data on 2 different types of media, with 1 copy stored off-site. It might sound like overkill, but trust me, when disaster strikes and you need to restore your data, you'll be thanking me. Remember, data recovery is only as good as your last backup. Alright, we've covered risk assessment and data backups. Now let's talk about keeping the bad guys out. Cybersecurity is absolutely critical when it comes to disaster recovery. A sophisticated cyber attack can be just as devastating as a natural disaster, if not worse. We're talking about robust firewalls, intrusion detection and prevention systems, multi-factor authentication, the whole shebang. Keep your software patched, educate your employees about phishing scams, and implement strong password policies. A single weak link can be all it takes for an attacker to slip through the cracks. By taking a proactive approach to cybersecurity, you're not just protecting your data, you're strengthening your entire disaster recovery posture. Okay, you've got your risk assessment, your backups are rock solid, and your cybersecurity is on point. But what happens when disaster actually strikes? You need a team, a crack squad of skilled professionals who know exactly what to do. You need to have clear roles and responsibilities defined for each member. Don't wait until the middle of a crisis to figure this out. Get everyone together, train them on the disaster recovery plan, and run regular drills to make sure everyone's on the same page. A well-prepared team can be the difference between a minor inconvenience and a full-blown catastrophe. Now, let's talk about something called the Recovery Time Objective, or RTO for short. Simply put, your RTO is the maximum amount of time your business can afford to be down after a disaster before it starts seriously impacting your bottom line. Determine which systems are absolutely critical to keep your business running and prioritize their recovery accordingly. By setting clear RTOs for each system, you can focus your resources on getting the most critical stuff back online as quickly as possible. In a disaster, time is money, so make sure you've got a plan to minimize downtime and get back to business as usual. We've covered a lot of ground here, so let's bring it all together and talk about the heart of it all, your Disaster Recovery Plan, or DRP. This document is your blueprint for handling any type of disaster, from natural disasters to cyber attacks and everything in between. Your DRP should outline step-by-step procedures for everything we've talked about so far, from identifying and assessing risks to activating your disaster recovery team and restoring data from backups. Make sure your DRP is easily accessible to everyone who needs it, whether it's stored in the cloud or printed out and kept in a safe location. And don't just create it and forget about it. Review and update your DRP regularly to make sure it stays relevant to your current infrastructure and threats. Alright, you've got your risk assessment, your backups, your cybersecurity, your team, your RTOs, and your comprehensive DRP. You're basically set, right? Well, almost. There's one last crucial piece of the puzzle: testing. You need to test it regularly to make sure it actually works and that your team knows what to do. This doesn't have to be a full-blown simulation every time, but you should at least be walking through your DRP with your team on a regular basis, identifying any gaps or areas for improvement. It's much better to find and fix these issues now than when you're under pressure in a real disaster situation. So, there you have it, 7 crucial disaster recovery tips to keep your data center safe and sound. Remember, having an effective DRP isn't just about checking a box, it's about protecting your business, your reputation, and ultimately, your peace of mind. Be proactive, implement these tips today, and make sure your data center is ready for anything. Disaster recovery isn't about reacting to events, it's about being prepared for them. Keep your data safe, stay secure, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe our channel.